this work, in that students often look for community to be built for them, and that is a responsibility of the college. However, in order for us to build the community that works for you, all of you that are here, it is important that you take part of that. As a vice president and special advisor to the president for diversity and inclusion is to help the institution formulate a strategy for how we do institutional diversity work.
So I'm the president of Quest, and basically what it is a diversity group with the intention to bring men of color together and help them find ways to succeed in college and then ultimately graduate college in whatever way that looks for whatever man it is.
If you're looking strictly at numbers, there's the goals that Champlain has set for itself. They're definitely moving towards that, but as far as programming, as far as visible diversity, what we see, there's always room for improvement, and that goes from across all institutions. If you are a man of color or male identifying individual of color at Champlain and you feel alone, or you feel like you need a space to come to, or people that you can just be around who you identify with, come to the ODI.
Shades of Me is a place where we put on events so people can understand different cultures and identities. And I'm the president of Shades. This club has made a difference on campus in that it brings awareness to what a person of color is. Because I know many people who said that before they came to college, they didn't even consider themselves a person of color. So Shades is a place where people discover who they are, and it also makes it more vocal about not every person of color needs to come in shades of brown. Like, that's not reality. People of color come in a multitude of shades.
For Champlain to be more inclusive, they would have to start with diversity trainings for their faculty members, teachers, professors, everyone who is not a student. And I say this because the conversation of racism and diversity mainly starts in the classroom, especially with core. And if our teachers aren't, I don't want to say educated on the topic, but if they aren't aware of the topic or do not know how to facilitate the topic, Champlain does not become an inclusive community, because then that teacher doesn't know how to correctly talk about racism. Like, some teachers tend to pick sides when they shouldn't pick sides. Like, the students need to talk about it, or the teacher will, if a student is trying to silence another student, the teacher won't comment on it.
When you leave your classroom, there are certain things that happen outside of the classroom where it's like you don't know how to deal with it, because like, how do you deal with a student who's racially profiling against you or just like being biased towards you? Because like in my second semester first year, like I was being racially discriminated against in my dorm room, and I tried to talk to my RA about it the first time. She just like dismissed it, but the second time, like when I told her about it and like how I felt about the whole situation, she just like told me to be open-minded about racism in a sense, and like that to me didn't really help the problem at all. And it was just kind of like they don't like. Sometimes it's harder for people who aren't of color to understand like how microaggressions really do hurt people in the end. But it was like, for that, I like literally had to like, I just wish like RAs had more training than other than a day to learn about diversity, and just I think like the situation would have been better if they did have more diversity training.
I've been here, there have been a lot of positive steps forward that I've seen. When I started, the office, our physical office was much smaller. It was crowded. Over this past summer, we expanded and redid the whole space. So we have a much larger space. We have seen a lot more traffic coming through the office, utilizing our resources. In terms of the broader campus, there have been, since I started, a couple of really awesome visibility projects, including the hanging of the Black Lives Matter and the Pride flag in the IDX atrium outside the cafeteria. And just last week, right? I think it was last week, we repainted the Pride flag, so it's brand new, it's on campus, and we added a Black Lives Matter crosswalk as well. So those are two like really lovely gestures and visibility projects that have been happened since I've started.
I think that as an institution, I think we're moving in a really healthy direction, and I think further working together and not working in silos is something that we can continue to improve on. I think there's always work to be done as it relates to diversity and inclusion. I don't think we ever really arrive, so I foresee this as an ongoing process throughout my time at Champlain College. But yeah, I'm really excited to continue strengthening our partnerships and collaboration across campus to better support students in a holistic realm. I think it's important for us to keep the conversation going. I'm so thankful for the opportunity to interview with a first-year student who also serves as our work study in the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. And I think this is definitely a topic that deserves a lot of attention and continued conversation. So I'm really grateful that this topic was chosen and for the opportunity to speak with you and Andy today.